Rocket League's 10-year anniversary is right around the corner, and they just announced one of the biggest updates we've seen in quite some time. Rocket League Season 19 is gold-themed, which also includes decals from Real Madrid, Arsenal, Manchester United, as well as even a alpha boost. There's a lot that's going into this update, so let's highlight absolutely everything that's coming to Rocket League for Season 19. Now, before I continue this video, I'm going to say I am not sponsored by Rocket League in any way, shape, or form. I can't even get a message back. This is solely an informative video and my opinion on what I think about the update. Now, with that being said, let's begin. Rocket League dropped one of the best trailers we've seen in quite some time, and it gave us a huge sneak peek at a lot of the stuff they were adding, so let's talk about it a little bit. But while this trailer's playing in the background, I want to say that Rocket League is actually splitting this season into 3 different parts. We have never seen something like this. This is truthfully the biggest season I think we've ever had, and there's a lot inside of it, so let's just break it down piece by piece and highlight what's going to be coming into Rocket League. Starting on June 18, Part 1 of Season 19 is going to be kicking off, and one of the biggest things that I want to highlight in this Part 1 is going to be the new ranked season, which happens at the start of every season, as well as the Adidas FC Clash limited time event. We're going to jump into this a little bit later, but this is how you're going to be able to unlock and access the Real Madrid decals, as well as the Man United decals, and some of the other soccer stuff I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of cool stuff in this, and we're going to highlight it in its own section a little bit later in the video. For Part 2 that starts on July 16, they're actually giving Sunless Khan a limited time game mode called Sunless Khan's Demolition Duel. They don't share too much about parts 2 and 3, but they do share that Sunless Khan's game mode, the second you touch the ball, you will die. That sounds pretty chaotic, if I'm being honest. I don't want to die every time I touch the ball. I feel like you're just going to get one hit, respawn, go, respawn. Like, it's going to be really chaotic, but that sounds pretty interesting. There's also a limited time event called Party Up Summer Road Trip where they're introducing a new car. They don't necessarily talk about it too much, but there's also going to be a Deadmau5 limited time event. I feel like Rocket League has always been pretty known for its like EDM, like dance, just really good music playlists. So the fact that Deadmau5 is working in Rocket League now is pretty insane. Once again, we don't get a great look of what that actually entails. The only thing they really highlight specifically is stuff in Part 1, which we're going to give their own sections later, but we do see the Deadmau5 head and topper inside the trailer announcement. Part 3 kicks off starting on August 21st, and one of the things that they're going to be adding specifically for Part 3 is the pentathlon tournaments. They mention a pentathlon tournament as a tournament consisting of 5 different game modes, but they don't mention if the game modes are based off each game, each series. I don't know exactly how it's split, but I'm definitely going to be recording these. These look to be in-game tournaments that the ones me and Reddles record all the time, so that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be interested in. They also mentioned something called an Echo item, which means bumping into players who already own it will give you access to it in Echo Playlist. I don't necessarily know what this means. I'm assuming it's like, if I play someone with a certain wheel or something, then I unlock that wheel because I played someone who had it, which is pretty interesting in its own right, but I wish they give us a little bit more info on this. I guess we're going to find out a lot later as it comes closer to August 21st, but with 3 different parts of this season, there's so much to actually look forward to and be excited about, and I like this. Instead of dumping it all at once, they're spreading it out. They mentioned the Champions Road LTE as well, which to me looks very similar to the Fortnite font that starts on September 4th. It's going to include an LTM called Jump Jam, but they don't give us any information about it at all, so I have no idea what that's going to be. But one of the craziest things that I've never seen Rocket League do before is they actually promote an esports event inside the season trailer. I've actually never seen them intertwine a season update with an esports event, but it's pretty interesting looking at that. And of course, Worlds will be in Lyon, France from September 9th to September 14th. Sadly, I cannot afford a plane ticket to France, but I will probably be watch partying it, so check the links in the description if you're interested in that. They mentioned that for a lot of the stuff that I just said, it really is just a preview for Season 19, so we're going to get a lot more fuller details for Part 2 and 3, but we have a lot more info on Part 1, and we're going to dive into some of the things that they did share with us instead of giving us a preview of. If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you want to find out how you're going to get Alpha Boost, and I'm going to show you how right now. Rocket League is introducing something called Login Rewards, which it essentially works like this. There is a start date and an end date. If you log into Rocket League in between these 2 days, you will get a login reward for logging in and playing Rocket League. There's 4 main login rewards that they have shared with us, and I will include the dates with each of these rewards. So let's go through them and, highlight which ones are coming out. So the first one we're going to look at is this gold nice shot goal explosion. This is going to be coming out from June 18th to September 17th. So if you're interested in logging it, mark your calendar. If you just log in, you will be getting this. The second one they have is these gold Cristianos, which I actually think look pretty nice. I could see myself possibly using these on some car designs. So gold Cristianos are going to be coming out from July 7th, which is actually Rocket League's birthday, to September 17th. The third item that they will be releasing is the gold Crush Boost. Now, for those who don't know, Alpha Boost has an actual name called Gold Rush. So this is clearly a play on Gold Rush, calling it Gold Crush. I think this will vary slightly. I think the biggest difference between these two boosts will be with the noise. A lot of people really like the noise that Alpha Boost makes. I imagine the noise is going to be different. But in terms of looks, guys, this is as close as you're going to get without spending $10,000 on an Alpha Boost. I'm going to put up two screenshots side by side so you can see the similarity. It is pretty damn close, if not the exact same. I do think it's a little bit different, but it is very, very similar. And last but not least, they're doing a gold anniversary formal decal, which I'm not a huge fan of personally. I like the normal fancy formal, which is black and white. I think gold's doing a little bit too much, but if this is something you want, all you got to do is log in on August 21st to September 17th, and you'll be able to get it. But yeah, guys, the Gold Crush Alpha Boost from July 16th to September 17th. If you want your Alpha Boost, this is when you're going to want to log in. Save this video, save the date. Just make sure you log on, man. You're not going to want to miss this. I think the login rewards are a good idea to get people on the game. I don't know if it's going to get people to stay on the game, but it's definitely going to get people on the game. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't just put Alpha Boost in the shop for like $20 or something. Remember when they put the Skull Trooper back in the shop? They probably made $1 billion off that. So I don't know what Alpha Boost would have done, but that's probably, I'm just surprised that wasn't the route they took. Now here's something I'm actually pretty interested in looking at is the revamping of clubs. Clubs have been in the game for a while, and to be completely honest with you guys, they have been absolutely useless for quite some time. The only thing that you can do with a club that is kind of cool is put a tag in front of your name for your team. But for most people, they don't really care for this. It was a very good idea executed very poorly, and they are revamping clubs to reimagine this idea. They're introducing career and seasonal stats and club medals for playing matches, getting goals, saves, assists, stuff like that. And they're also going to have a stats tab, which is going to track win percentage, time played, turtle goals, pool shots. They're pretty much tracking everything. You're going to be able to compete with your friends, see who's contributing the most with the club, it seems, and also just work together to get club tags. They actually share this right here. They say that you can earn club titles by earning and netting club medals in all three categories of goals, saves, and assists, and they can be showcased beneath your club banner, which I think is pretty cool. There's also a new club intro sequence, which we haven't really seen what that looks like, I don't think, but I'm pretty interested to see how that's different than the one they have now. They also seem to have roles within the club. The screenshot that we're given shows owner, but they also share that club managers are going to be a thing as well. So I wonder how many different roles there's going to be for the clubs. Now, my biggest problem with this club stuff is they don't have club ranked. I think this is going to be a version later when they revamp the clubs here. They're probably going to end up doing club ranked soon. But I think club ranked is something that people have been asking for a while, where it's essentially like a forced team queue where like you can only play against other clubs and there's like a club leaderboard to see who's the best club in the world. I think that would be sick. I think it would encourage people to play as a club. I think it would just keep that whole segment of Rocket League alive for sure. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming they're just going to implement it later on in a future update. We also get our first look at the 10th anniversary arena, which is just a DFH reskin. Now, I honestly was expecting a brand new stadium, but if they are going to reskin any stadium, I do like that they did DFH. It's probably one of the most historic stadiums in all of Rocket League, and it was due for a good variant, and I think this looks pretty good. Now, the ground reminds me a little bit of Sovereign Heights. I don't know if I'm crazy to say that, but I like Sovereign Heights, so I appreciate the grass looking kind of similar to it. And it also has like a night theme, which is pretty good. They have a bunch of anniversary decorations surrounded on the map. They got, you know, the little 10 anniversary massive thing over here on the left. They also have Shogun as the arena announcer, which I think is pretty cool, considering he birthed This Is Rocket League. They also share and preview what the Battle Pass is going to look like, which, honestly, some of the tiers have some cool stuff. Let's go through them right now. You can see tiers 1 to 10 get like a pixelated halo. We get like a scorpion antenna looking thing. I think these wheels and this car body is just kind of all right. But this is the first look at the Breakout X car body, which does have a Breakout hitbox. Now, I believe this is the Zentari car body with some Viking wheels and a golden soccer ball and like a cool little fire looking decal, but I don't know. I think this is an Octane hit. Yeah, this is an Octane hitbox, so I think it looks all right. It's just 21 to 30. We see a goal explosion in the back, which that looks pretty cool, but I can't necessarily tell what's going on with that. I do think this Dominus decal looks really cool. I just hope it's not limited to just the Dominus. My biggest problem with some of these stuff is that they will drop like an Octane specific decal or a Dominus specific decal. Like, give me something for the Fennec. This decal looks really cool, and I think this is a cool boost they got in the back, that little plasma looking thing, but this gray decal, I think a lot of pros are going to end up using. 1 to 50, they have this like gold Dominus, which once again, I hope it's not just limited to the Dominus. We've seen these tropical wheels before. It looks like a reimagined version of them. Got like dragon wheels and a cool little vibrant Octane decal, which once again, hopefully it's not limited to the Octane, but we do see it here. We also get a, looks like a goal explosion that takes over the map with like a skull and fire coming out of the skull, like Ghost Rider almost. That looks pretty cool. And honestly, for tier 61 to 70, I expected a lot more, if I'm being 100% honest. A Bob's Ramen topper with some like it looks like the goal explosion we just saw, like a wheels version of that, which I'm not too impressed, honestly. I think they're not showing everything. I think there's going to be something else that they're leaving out that we'll see when the Battle Pass officially comes out. Also, if you're interested in player anthems, they're adding Solar Eclipse's Firework and Breathing Underwater remixes, which are just remixes of iconic OG Rocket League songs, which everyone knows Breathing Underwater is a bop. We get our first look at the Centauri here with the Rocket League logo, of course, and just the whole 10-year theme, and I think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely going to give it a try, and I like this little racing decal they have on it. And then, of course, they have a This Is Rocket League player title, which honestly is a pretty good title. I'm going to be using my blue tag since I made a regional, but This Is Rocket League is definitely a good player title. We also get our first look at some of the tourney rewards. To me, it seems like a sort of Egyptian theme, like almost like Aladdin almost. You know, they got a Pharaoh decal, they have a Magic Lamp Goal Explosion, they have a Genie Lamp Topper. Just reminds me of Aladdin personally, but they have some cool stuff. Look at this trail coming off the car. I think this decal is going to be really interesting. And we do see the goal explosion in the trailer, actually. First look at the Adidas FC Clash limited time event. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm pretty excited for this. There's something that I need to point out right now. This is not a Fennec. This is a new Fennec. They have, not many people have been talking about this, I feel like. I feel like people have kind of missed this out, like, entirely. They are dropping a new Fennec on June 25th at 5 p.m. PT called the Fennec ZRF. I don't know what made them want to do this, but this is kind of insane, guys. We are getting a second Fennec in Rocket League, and honestly, it looks pretty good. We can see it in this screenshot using the new Real Madrid decal, which I assume means they're going to be dropping these decals on multiple different cars. The multiple car decals will probably 100% be the ones in the shop, though. We do know the free ones that they're giving us, and they're pretty much just on Octane, so we're going to highlight some of those now. There is 11 different decals that we're going to be looking at right now. There is 11 different rewards that you can possibly unlock. We have a Club World decal, a Juventus decal, an Arsenal decal, an Arsenal banner, a Real Madrid banner, a Juventus banner. We have Club World Cup wheels. We have a Real Madrid decal, a Manchester United banner, a Manchester United decal, Club World Cup decal, and that's going to be it. We have a bunch of pretty cool and interesting stuff in here. Personally, my favorite is going to be the Juventus decal as well as the Real Madrid, but once again, these are just specifically an Octane, so I won't be using any of them because I will never use an Octane for the rest of my life. The LTM itself actually seems pretty cool as well. It's going to be easier to dribble with the nosier car. You're also going to be able to curve and spin on your shots. And it's also just going to be a more grounded experience. Apparently, the ball is going to be closer to the ground. They're just trying to put a more soccer feel in a soccer game mode. But one thing that I think is super interesting is we actually see a ball skin for it. For those who don't know, Rocket League actually uses a ball skin for RLCS streams, but they use it on Bacchus Mod. It's not actually what the players see. The players see a normal ball. So this makes me wonder if we're going to see more ball skins and ball types in Rocket League, and if we're eventually going to see a ball cosmetic. If that's something that you guys may be interested or want to see, let me know down in the comments, and what type of ball would you want? Me personally, give me that 2014 World Cup ball. Let me throw it on a skin on the ball, and I'll give you $10 for that. There's also the Possessive Rumble LTM, which starts July 2nd, but me personally, I don't really care too much about this. Basically, possession game modes are, if you touch the ball, it becomes your team's color, and every second you have that ball, you get a point. It's basically that, but with Rumble power-ups to keep people away from the ball. Not really something I'm interested in, but if that's something you may be interested in, that'll start July 2nd. They're also adding some more Monster Cat music in the shop. There's a big list that I'm just going to put on your screen. The one that I would probably care about the most would be Love You Need You by Slushy. That's my favorite on this whole list. Also adding a Rocket League Monster Cat 10-year anniversary vinyl, and if you pre-order it, you actually get some cool in-game items. I think the most notable would be the Octane decal of the black and white Monster Cat. You also get some cool player anthems as well. And the last thing that I want to mention about this update is the Chalked Cast First Touch Rocket rivalry. Now, whether you care about Chalked Cast or First Touch, here is how it's going to work. We're going to give you 2 titles, a First Touch Crew title and a We Are Chalk title, and depending on which one you use, your stats will actually be tracked on the Rocket League website based on what title you have, and they're going to kind of total everything up and have like a versus match of First Touch versus Chalked Cast based on their fans, which I think is really cool. All of this, of course, will be leading up to the show match, which will happen at the Raleigh Major, which I'm pretty excited about, and that's a pretty cool feature, guys. Having something integrated on the website and in-game of calculating the stats, that's pretty sick. And then they close it off with a nice little message saying, "Thank you for being the driving force behind 10 years of Rocket League. Your passion and dedication to soccer have not gone unnoticed. Season 19 starts June 18th and concludes September 17th. That's pretty much everything you need to know about this update, guys. And I'm going to say, overall, I think this update has 8 out of 10 potential. This looks really, really cool. I'm upset that they don't have Club Rank just yet, but I think they have some super awesome LTMs and limited time events that are going to be coming out. Like, me personally, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm definitely going to try the Adidas Soccer Strike. I know for a fact I'm going to be playing the Pentathlon tournaments. Let me know what you're most excited for in the comments. Of course, you got to be looking out for the free alpha boost, but this is going to be a pretty cool update, guys. We got a lot of stuff to it, and I'm going to be making a bunch of videos on it, so please stay tuned. Let me know what you want to see me record in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoyed the update. If you want to see more videos like this where I cover updates, let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.